Way back in the late 60s and early 70s, I was involved in education as what then was known as homeschool coordinator. I think I was about the third homeschool coordinator in the province. We formed a provincial committee called BC Native Indian Teachers Association out of UBC. And we had about 60, 75 members from throughout the province. And at that time, there was a board and home program. And one of the counselors with Indian Affairs was Ray Collins. And a lot of his students dropped out of school. And instead of returning home, many of them didn't return home to their communities, ended up in East Vancouver. And it bothered Ray. And he went looking for them to find out why they weren't in class. They couldn't compete with the learning in the public school. There was such a difference coming from reserve and the residential school settings to a board and home program. That bothered Ray. And so he went to Indian Affairs. They had a $10,000 surplus that they were going to send back to Ottawa. And he asked the regional director if he could use that $10,000. And then he found that civil servants had a rental space they weren't utilizing down at Howe and Hastings. So he asked them to use that room. And Ray got the students coming to Howe and Hastings. And he phoned us. We need pencils, we need pens, rulers, we need paper, we need reading material. And if you're going out on meetings, take all the pens you can from the hotels, and so we could have pens to share with the students. And that's how the program got going. And that went for 3 to 5 years. And Indian Affairs was going to cut back and take away the $10,000. Ray called us to say, we lose some money, we lose the class, students are the ones that are going to lose. Can we meet to see what we can do? And one of the individuals that was a very strong component of education is Brenda Taylor. Brenda and I come from Bella Bella. Not only was she very strong in the school board, she was also politically inclined and invited Art Lee, who represented the constituency where the program was at. And he came, he says, I'll give you 45 minutes. 2.5 hours later, he left. Went back to Ottawa, spoke to the Minister of Indian Affairs. What we wanted out of that meeting was a retention of that $10,000. Art Lee phoned back. We retained the $10,000, and it has been increased to $50,000. And it just grew from there. It wasn't even called Native Ed back then. It's just a classroom. When I was a boy, come to Vancouver from Bella Bella in my time was the other side of the world. Now kids are going around the world. It's good to see. And what I say is, for those of us that went to residential school, we looked at putting our baggage away, you know. And I don't want young people to try and grab my baggage. Let me put it away. You got so much ahead of you. Once you're finished university, you're set.